The word ultimate is thrown around a lot these days. In the dictionary, ultimate is defined as the best or most extreme example of its kind. And it's that second bit which I want to focus on. Now, every football fan and his dog on YouTube loves ground hopping. But, at least in my eye, I've never seen someone attempt the ultimate ground hop. And so, I am in the wonderful city of Hamburg to give it a go. Right, let me explain what I'm on about. So Hamburg is absolutely littered with football clubs, both big and small. And ever since I moved here back in August, I've always wanted to see how many I can visit in 48 hours. And at the end, I'm going to work out how much it all cost, rank the experiences, and just give you my general thoughts. So, 48 hours starts now. Let's go. Okay, so we are back ground hopping again. For the first game, we're going to be watching a team called VfL Hamburg. So VfL Hamburg were pretty decent in the 90s, I think it was. They were in the same league as Hannover, Kiel, Lübeck, Osnabrück. So pretty big. However, now they've kind of taken a bit of a downturn. They are currently in the 7th division, I think it is, although at one point they dropped down to the 9th, which is like, in Germany, proper Sunday league. But now they're in the 7th tier and they're kind of fighting relegation there, so you wouldn't say they've returned as such. However, one interesting thing is that they do have a very, very loyal fan base, a very small core faction of supporters, as I found out, called the Loyal 93. So it's going to be interesting to see what that's like. But right now, we are on the way to the U-Bahn station and head over to Borgweg on the U-Bahn to watch VfL Hamburg. So we have made it, we're at VfL Hamburg now. We'll say the area is quite interesting. I've never been to this specific part of Hamburg. I step out and there's just fucking music blaring. This has to be the loudest stadium thing I've ever heard in my life. Why is it so loud? The loudest stadium system ever. I can't describe it, it's fucking deafening, man. First impressions, oh yeah, this is a really nice place, you know. I mean, I know this ground used to have 8k capacity and they were, you know, a decent side about, what, like 35 years ago. You can tell, like, if you look, you can tell there, like, these are old terraces, obviously, and over there as well. These are old terraces that have been, like, made shorter, made smaller. But it's got, like, it's got a good feel to it. It feels like a stadium, because a lot of stadiums at this level are just literally just like a school astro. And I like the vibe. I mean, the toilets are in the same place as a tunnel. The fella who takes the money is the same person as the stadium announcer. You know, it's like a proper, it's just proper football, proper amateur football. But yeah, so I'll give you a little bit of a lowdown on the teams. So VfL Hamburg, of course, they're in the 7th tier and they're playing a HSV 4. If you can believe that HSV have a 4th team. But the first impressions are really good. I really like the stadium, I like the vibe, big fan. So it's half time, it's 2-0, still pretty good vibes, relatively decent football, weirdly loud sound system. I don't know why it's so loud. There's a man dressed in like a full HSV, like the Portsmouth man, that's the best way I can describe him. And I'm plucking up the courage to interview him. My German's not really good enough to interview in German, so I need to do it in English. And I'm plucking up the courage to ask him in English, because I reckon he's got a story to tell. So you're a big HSV fan, obviously.
Yes.
Why have you got that on?
HSV, it's my life. I'm a Hamburger, and so you can see it. It's HSV. I watched the first team, the second team, the third team, and these guys said, "Rainer, you have to go to the 4th." And I said, "The fourth HSV team, is that right?" And they said yes. VfL 93 against HSV 4. Okay, we come together, have beer.
What a man. first game of the weekend. All in all, I thought it was a really good vibe. I really liked the ground and the people were chill. That high file guy who interviewed was properly cool. He also told me off camera that he used to be a soldier for NATO, which is pretty mental. I guess everyone has a story, don't they? We're going to get on the train now to St. Pauli's Highland Geistveld. I think that's how you say it, because it's not necessarily the team we're going to watch, it's the ground we're going to watch, and it's really cool. Let's have a look. So, for our next game, we are in the famous Hamburg district of St. Pauli. And the reason why is because we're here to watch St. Pauli's 5th team. But let me explain why we're watching the fucking 5th team. So, we're not watching the 5th team because, well, the 5th team. However, I would say they play at probably one of the most beautiful stadiums in Hamburg. And you'll see why when we get there. But it's got something to do with this thing. So, you're wondering why I was taking you to a 5th team game. Well, this is why. Look at that. Have you ever seen a better place to play football than this? So this place is called the Highland Geistveld, which in English translates to the Holy Ghost Field. And it's basically where FC St. Pauli, who are in the Bundesliga, who are essentially the world's most famous cult club. This is where their amateur team play, well, this is where their 4th team, 5th team, 6th team play. But yes, this is where a lot of St. Pauli's amateur teams play. It's also where the women's team plays. You've probably seen it on Instagram. This ground seems to do the rounds on Instagram as, oh my god, imagine playing Sunday League here. Well, this is what they're doing. It is a remarkable stadium. It's in a remarkable area as well. It's right next to the main stadium, of course. And then you've got the Feldstrasse bunker just there. I would imagine you're also probably wondering, what the fuck is that massive building here? Well, it's called the bunker in Hamburg. And it was built during the war to protect Hamburg from air raid, because Hamburg is like a very big port, the biggest port in Germany, and of course in the war it was a strategic target, and so they wanted to best protect it. And what they did was they built that thing, I think in 1942 or 1943, one of the two, and yeah, they built it in 9 months, which when you actually see it in person, for anyone who's seen it in person, the fact that they built that in 9 months is mental, because it is massive. They've done it up, so it's got like a restaurant in there. It's got like a viewing deck on the top, which is incredible. I've got some pictures there, which I'll put over here. Incredible view. There's also a nightclub there as well. If you're ever in Hamburg and you like going out, and you like techno, or you like events or whatever, there's a place called Übel und Gefährlich, which is the club in the bunker, and they have all sorts of events on. But you have to go. It's an experience that you won't forget. It's incredible. But yeah, it's a beautiful building. Oh, just accidentally captured a goal. Wow. We've got absolutely no idea what the score is, but it was an absolute shock from the referee. That was definitely a free kick, but come on. Something, don't quite know what the score is, but get in. So this place is like a sports kind of like facility, if you will. So does that mean that if I watch the other game, that counts as another game? I don't know, but I'm going to do it. You can decide in the comments, but I think that me watching the other game on the other pitch counts as another game to my groundhog. I'm putting it on Footballogy, so, you know, let me know in the comments if you think it counts or not. Fucking hell, there's a lad who's fresh out the pub for Harmonia Dry and he's just fucking banged it. What a strike. Got a bigger belly than fucking Peter Griffin. He's just absolutely walloped it top corner, fair play to him. What a strike. I don't know the score though, because I can't, it's so low, I can't find the fucking score out. No idea how long's left in this game and no idea what the score is, but it's heating up, man. Oh my god. Ah. So, 2 games, no idea what the score in either of them was, but I had a good time. Nice people around everywhere, good setup. Obviously we didn't come for the football, to this one anyway. This is probably the best background you're going to get anywhere for some football in the book, like that. But anyway, tomorrow is a new day, and tomorrow we've got 2 more, so I will see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Good afternoon, we are back again for the 2nd day of the ultimate ground hop. Now today we are off to 2 of the most historic stadiums in Hamburg, and actually 2 of the most historic stadiums in Germany. So the first one we're going to be visiting, which we're on our way to right now, is a stadium called the Stadion Hohenluft. So basically the Stadion Hohenluft, it's one of the oldest stadiums in Germany, it's one of the oldest stadiums in Hamburg, but I'll tell you more about it when we're actually there. It's also a really, really nice stadium, especially for the level it's at. It's the home of Victoria Hamburg, who are in the 5th tier. However, we are not going to watch Victoria Hamburg because they played yesterday. We're instead going to be watching HEBC's 2nd team, which is actually a league higher, so a bit of better quality football. It's 4th tier. And then after that, we are going to head straight to the Adolfiger Kampfbahn to watch Altona 93, which is a club which you need to learn about, and I will be making a documentary about them very soon. They're an absolutely fascinating club, and their stadium is really, really nice, but all in good time. But for now, let's head to the Hohenluft to watch some 4th division action. Come on. Fucking typical. It's absolutely sprinted for the bus. It's left a minute early. I would have made it as well, so we might miss kickoff. Well, we will miss kickoff. I need to get in the gym. Fuck me, that was difficult. Yeah, but on the plus side, got a nice view though. Isn't that a lovely view? We have made it. We are a few minutes late. I think maybe 5 minutes late to kick off, but we're going to make it, and yeah, hopefully some good football. But most importantly, this stadium is a cracker. If you're in Hamburg, you need to come to the Hohenluft. It's a cracker. Let me show you. Do you remember how yesterday I was talking about the HEBC man with the hat and the cape and all that? I've just seen him. There he is, what a man. So I've been banging on about the history of this stadium. I should probably actually tell you what the history is. It's one of the oldest stadiums in Germany, built in the early 1900s. For a long while it was actually the biggest stadium in Hamburg because the team who owns it, Victoria Hamburg, were the biggest team in Hamburg. This is where they used to have cup finals, and it used to hold 35,000, which was pretty big. It's obviously not so big now, but you can kind of see remnants of what it used to be. Like, the main stand can't have changed much in the last 50 years, but it's a really nice stadium, and like, it's a shame actually because for Victoria games, the whole stadium's open, so you can wander around, you can go behind the goal, and you can go to the other side, other stands. But yeah, if you're a big like kind of football nerd, I would definitely recommend coming to here if you are in Hamburg. Before anything else, I should probably tell you about the 2 teams we're actually watching. HEBC 2, obviously, the team are at home. They have their own ground, but it's been renovated so they're playing here for the season. And in actual fact, the team who they're playing, Phoenix Lübeck, are also not playing on their own ground due to it being too small for this league, because they're actually quite a small club. They're the 2nd biggest club in Lübeck. So Lübeck is a city of about 100,000 people, about maybe 40 minutes north of here. And the biggest club there is VfB Lübeck, who get about 3,500 at home. They were in the 3rd division last season but went down. Phoenix Lübeck are the 2nd biggest club there, and I've been there before, and yeah, I actually met their mascot, who is probably the funniest mascot you've ever seen in your life. It's like, have you ever seen the clip of Neil and the In-Betweeners when he's dressed up in the theme park?
Are you alright, Mr. Monkey?
It was a little bit like that. He was just like moving really weirdly. He was like doing weird stuff. He kept like shaking his head. He was like either steaming or it might have been a wasp in my costume maybe, I don't know. And in actual fact, they're both pretty much on the same points. I think they're 6th and 8th in the league as it stands, but neither are going to be anywhere close to promotion, because VfL Hamburg, who are top of the league, are by far clear of everyone else. I think they're about 15 points clear. 1-0. Fucking hell, their lad just absolutely belted it top in. What a strike that is. Christ almighty, what a goal. The game has been really good. There's been 2 goal line clearances, really nice goal. There's no atmosphere. It's like, I mean, I'm not expecting much atmosphere, but like there's one man can hear him banging the drum. No one's singing, he's just banging the drum. No one's singing. I just find it really weird. So that is game 3 done. To be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. The ticket was a bit much. There was literally zero atmosphere. I know it's a second team game, but you know, like the atmosphere that there was didn't really feel like much fun, didn't really feel like very happy. But the fact you couldn't move around the stadium, there was loads of security guards as well, which I found really weird. I do recommend, if you can, go to a game at the Hohenlohe because it is a brilliant stadium. Anyway, we are now off to another fantastic stadium, the Adolf Jäger Kampfbahn, Altona 93. So I'll tell you a bit more about them when we get there. Okay, so this is our 4th game of the Ultimate Ground Hop, and this is the one I'm most excited to take you to, because this is Altona 93. Now, Altona 93 were founded in, well, 1893, hence the name, and their ground, the Adolf Jäger Kampfbahn, named after their best player ever, Adolf Jäger, and it was built in 1908, which makes it one of the oldest stadiums in Germany. And in actual fact, Altona's old stadium hosted the first German national championship, and Altona were one of the founding members of the DFB, which is like the German FA, and they're one of the few that actually still survive now. If you look at that list, there's only about 6 or 7 that actually still exist to this day. They were eclipsed by the likes of HEBC and then later on St. Pauli. They fell down the leagues. They were last in the first tier in the early 60s, but then the creation of the Bundesliga saw them down to the second tier, which then basically just saw them drop down and down and down and down and down. They've never been below the 5th tier, which is where they currently are right now. But I think they were last in the 3rd tier in the 90s, and they've just bounced between the 4th and 5th tiers for the last 30 years. But their stadium is fantastic, and the most important thing about this club, and it's why I'm taking you there, is because of the fan base. With FC St. Pauli just around the corner, obviously they were a very anti-establishment club. However, a lot of their fans have kind of felt that they've lost that a little bit, and most of them have come here. So for example, the famous Jolly Roger, the skull and crossbones St. Pauli sign, the fellow who actually brought that into St. Pauli for the first time ever actually comes here now. I've never met him, but I've been told that he comes here because he believes St. Pauli become too commercial, and Altona are like the alternative for a lot of fans who think that football at a higher level in Hamburg's gone too commercial. And if you actually look, they are way too big for this league. So this league is a 5th tier in Hamburg, and they get attendances of over 1,000 every week pretty much. Their stadium's the biggest, they've got the biggest attendances. They won the league last season but didn't go up because of the playoff. German playoffs are stupid and it would take me ages to explain, but it's a group and they didn't win the group, and so they didn't go up. They're miles clear at the top of the league this season, so they are probably going to win it. I'm going to show you around, hopefully chat to some fans, and yeah, up the fucking Altona. So here you have my friend Carsten. Describe to me their values. What do they believe in?
I think Altona believes in equality of humankind. Altona, I think, believes in the fact that football is political. You're denying yourself a voice in football. You're denying fans and supporters a voice in football if you claim that football isn't political. And so Altona is making a statement into saying football is all about politics, and we have to use our voice also for issues that concern us as human beings.
Describe to me what makes them different from everyone else.
When you look at football in Hamburg, you either have HEBC with its history or St. Pauli, and they both compete. If you watch closely at Altona games, there are a lot of people who support St. Pauli, but also a lot of people who support HEBC. It's like the only club that Hamburgers can agree on. one fact in particular that makes them different from any other club is the agreement in the stands. In Germany, we love to separate, but the agreement at Altona is if your away fans can behave, there won't be any separation necessary. You also have a lot of ground hoppers here. You run into fans from Bundesliga clubs, from Dutch clubs, British clubs, sometimes Danish clubs. It's a club a lot of people can agree on.
I also better describe the stadium. So, over here you've got the seating stand, which is, I think it was built in the 50s. And over there is very interesting because that is called the Mecker-Ecke, which in German means complaining corner, right? The moaning corner. So that is essentially just a group of about 15 people who just complain about shit all game. But over there it's like the old, it's like the older clique, isn't it? Like the punks and stuff.
The Zeckenhügel. So over there behind the goal, there's the Zeckenhügel, which literally translates to the hill of the ticks. Ticks being those little insects. But in German, Zecken, it's also a slur for punks. You find a lot of people who are traditional Hamburg punks behind the goal.
And then over here is the Gegengrade, which in German, it's a pretty common feature in German stadiums, isn't it? It's like the side stand with support. So often in a lot of German stadiums, what you have is you have the seating stand over there, you have the stand behind the goal, and then you have the Gegengrade, which is like the standing area to the side of the pitch. And this is where most fans stand. So you've got like a kind of clique of, not ultras, but like more active support up there. And then you've just got the normal people around here. And the punks over there. There's dogs on the pitch. Hey! Oh, this made it worse. He's done it. He's got him. Hey! Woo! You don't get that at Bayern Munich, do you? Come on! Get the fuck in the boys. 1-0 Altona. 2-0. 3-0 Altona. So half time, 4-0. I mean, what else can I say apart from the fact it's been a total fucking walkover. One thing I also probably should mention actually, Altona Stadium is over 100 years old and it's a staple of the club and it's a staple of Hamburg. And it's a staple of German football as well. But unfortunately, a few years ago they decided, the city council, am I right in saying the city council, because they want to build flats on here. Altona fans are pretty much every single one of them is completely against it, but it's kind of out of their hands. Altona don't want to move. Nothing's happened with the flats that are supposed to be built here, and absolutely nothing's happened for where the new stadium's going to be. If it was up to them, they'd never leave here, because it's their home and it has been for over 100 years. But they're being forced from it, and sooner or later, unfortunately, they're going to have to move. So make sure, if you're ever in Hamburg, you have to visit this stadium, because it won't be here for much longer. Come on! And that is 6. Okay, so the score ended at 6-0. Absolute battering. And speaking of battering, I'm also battered. As you can see, the night sky is here. We were in the Altona pub for a little while. But I'm on my way home now. That is it for the games today. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, everyone, we are back for the third and final day of the Ultimate Ground Hop. And today we are off to 2 more games. Currently running a tad late because at the end of the last video I'd had a few bevies and then I continued to have more after that. So feeling a little bit rough, we're gonna stop crying about it, get on the train and watch some football. It's currently 10 in the morning. Who put football on at this time? I have no idea. But whoever you are, I hate you. But you have meant that this ground hop is possible, so maybe I like you again. Before we get into the final day, please make sure to like and subscribe. Anyway, let's get on the train. Fucking got it for the train. Fuck my life. So I totally forgot that I was in such a rush that I haven't actually said where we're going. So right now we're going to HEBC Hamburg, which is in the Eimsbüttel region, which is actually where I used to live. It's very nice around here. They were formed in 1911, and what's interesting is that they play at the Professor Reinmuller Platz, which has been their ground ever since they started, which is pretty rare, I think. I don't think you get many clubs who are still in their, well, old clubs that are still in their original ground. We are about 10 minutes after kick off, the ground's just there. But yeah, anyway, let's get inside. First impressions are really good. This is a really nice little non-league ground. What a lovely little ground this is. It's a really nice little setup. You've got tiniest seating stand you've ever seen. You've got like a little Gegengrade here. You've got like a nice clubhouse behind me, which has everything you need. It's a proper nice little setup, you know. There's also a relatively decent attendance as well. There's a good 300 here, which for a Sunday morning in the 5th division, for a mid-table clash, not bad at all. I like this place, it's cool. So I've just sat down for me, versed in me hangover curing coffee, missed the second goal, sat down, we just got a penalty and scored. 3-0, absolute battering. Yes. That's 4. I'll tell you what, even though this HEBC, like mid-table 5th division, they play some really good football. Like, they're 4-0 up, they've absolutely battered them, and they're both kind of mid-table. And they could be 6 or 7 up. Like, but to be honest, like, I've not been paying that much attention to the game, because I've just been like wandering around the stadium. Like, this is such a cool little ground. There's so many, like, there's a really nice clubhouse with loads of like cool like signs and graffiti and like cool stuff outside of it. And like just walking around the ground, there's like nice little murals. It's got like loads of cool little quirks about it. And also, like, I'm a big fan of the vibe here. Like, there's a group of old boys next to me, and then you've got like a family with kids on the other side just having a laugh, kicking a ball around whilst watching the football on a Sunday. It's a very, very nice vibe. It kind of fits the area, because this area of Hamburg is quite like, it's cultured, but it's quite chill. And the club fits the vibe perfectly. So the whistle has just gone, 6-0 to HEBC. We are now on our way to the U-Bahn station to take an hour and 10-minute long journey to Norderstedt. On the whole though, that was brilliant. The stadium was really like kind of cozy, but it had loads of little cool little quirks, like little murals and graffiti and stickers, and it was really cheap as well. Everyone was chill. Now we are on our way to Norderstedt. So Norderstedt is a town just to the north of Hamburg, and we're going to be watching a very much Hamburg club, FC St. Pauli, but their second team, their B team, who play in the 4th division Regionalliga Nord. And we're going to be going to a place called the Edmund Plambig Stadion, which is the home of Eintracht Norderstedt, who are actually in the same league as St. Pauli's second team. They're a couple places below them actually. But it's a very nice stadium actually. It holds about 5,000. And fun fact is that it was actually the home base for the Czech Republic in last year's Euros. But also, it's not just the home team we're interested in, it's the away team that's very, very interesting. And it's a team I actually really would like to go and visit. So they're a team called Kickers Emden. Kickers Emden come from a place called Emden, which is right on the Dutch border. It's very far away from here, and it's in an area of Germany where they say it's so flat that you can see Monday on Friday. I would say in Germany they are the worst club in Germany, because they're a relatively big club, but they've never done anything. Like, the highest they've ever been is the 3rd tier, to my knowledge. They were last in the 3rd tier about 15 years ago, but they experienced a massive downfall where they dropped to 6th tier. But last season they got promoted from the 5th tier, and this season they're in the 4th tier for the first time in a while. And in actual fact, they are third in the league. But what will be good is that they'll probably bring quite a big following. But yeah, so let's get on the ridiculously long train journey to Norderstedt. We are in after a journey that seemingly went on forever. It's okay, because we got a beer, and it's a very nice cup actually. Obviously I said this was the home of Eintracht Norderstedt. It's an Eintracht Norderstedt branded. Don't know what beer it is, but it's good. So yeah, about 10 minutes before kick-off, warming up, hence some constant bashes on the wall. Hope he's not starting. He's hit that about 3 times. First impressions of the stadium. Very nice little, tidy little setup. Feels like a proper stadium, even though it's only 5,000. It's got 3.5 stands. Proper away end. There is, I would say, 15 people in the behind the goal bit. Most people are in the seating stand to the right because they've only opened 3 stands for this, which is annoying for my filming because it means I've got to film behind the goal where there's like netting and meshing and stuff and you can't really see very well, but I guess we'll make do. As for Emden, I thought Emden would travel in better numbers, to be honest. I mean, they're doing quite well, but then again, Emden is like 4 hours away. But there is a few of them. There's about, I don't know, I've seen a few in the home end, and then there's a few, maybe 50 at most in the away end. But they bought some flags, they bought drums, so they'll make a bit of noise, I reckon. Hopefully it is a decent game. Fuck me, that was shit. As a fan of the team who is second bottom in League 2, Mighty Shrimps, I'm pretty used to watching some shite. That first half, nothing happened. I think both boxes were entered about 4 times in that entire half. I could have gone to the nearest wet paint wall and watch it dry, because that would have been not only cheaper but more interesting. The characters, shall we say, have definitely been the highlight of this game. There has been some interesting people around me. Hopefully the football can match that in the second half. Dishing out beers from a trolley. I've never seen that before. That's pretty fucking cool, isn't it? Someone on their set of pyro. I love that. One really annoying feature of German football is that the police take it way too far. I've seen about 30 police officers from station to here. Bearing in mind Emden probably have about 50 fans with them. There's not going to be any trouble at this game. It's in Norderstedt, it's St. Pauli's youth team against a team who's brought 50. Such overkill. Finally! Yes! Finally! Something's fucking happened! Come on, 1-0 St. Pauli 2. So the game has finished and we are now at the U-Bahn station ready to go back home. Pretty drab affair, to be honest, but the pyro in the Emden end and the characters, shall we say, around me made it a little bit more interesting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the train home and we're going to evaluate. I'm going to rank everything. I'm going to work out how much I spent, how many miles I travelled, and everything else like that. So let's get on the train home and let's look at all the stats from the ultimate ground hop. So we are back at the gaff, and what a weekend of ground hopping that was. 7 matches, 6 grounds in less than 48 hours. That is, I'm pretty proud of myself, I'll be honest. I'm going to tell you the amount of kilometres I travelled, the amount of minutes I spent travelling, the amount of money I spent, and I'm also going to rank the 6 grounds and experiences. So in total, across the entire weekend, we spent 434 minutes travelling, which is 7 hours and 23 minutes. And in terms of distance, we travelled 89.2 kilometres. As for the transport, I didn't pay for a ticket each day. I had something called a job ticket, which basically allows me to use unlimited public transport across Germany. I paid €25 for that monthly, and then I divided that by 31, which was the amount of days in this month, and then times it by 3 for the 3 days of the weekend, and that added up to €2.42. In total, across all the games, for all the transport, all the beers, and all the refreshments, I spent €72.72. And now finally, onto the ranking of the 6 experiences. So in 6th place, I have Highsfeld 2. I just didn't really like the vibe there. It was a bit expensive. It didn't seem very happy. And as much as I do love the Holy Luft, it isn't there, so I can't really give them credit for that. And then in 5th place is St. Pauli 2. Kind of a similar experience. There wasn't many people there. The game was shocking. The vibe was a bit better, I guess, and the ticket was cheaper, but it's a second team and they're never usually that good to watch really. In 4th place, I've got St. Pauli 5 and the other St. Pauli team who I watched on the Highland Geisfeld. Now, it was a bit difficult for me to rank this one because yes, the view was absolutely spectacular and that was the reason why we went. However, it wasn't really proper ground and the games, I don't remember the scoring, but I had more fun than I did at the 2 below it, so I'm putting it above them. And then in 3rd place, I've got the first team we watched, which is VfL Hamburg. I'd never heard of them before, but I had a really nice time. The ground's pretty cool, and I met some cool people, and it was just a nice vibe around the place. And then in 2nd place, I've got HEBC. And to me, they were a massive surprise. I'd lived around the corner from them for like 4 months. I'd never visited, I'd walked past their ground countless times, but I'd never been, and I really wish I did because it was a great experience. The people were nice, the stadium's cool, it was pretty cheap, it was just all around good stuff. And then of course in 1st place, there's no prizes for guessing this, it is Altona 93. Now I am a bit biased with this one as I watch them pretty much every week, but they're just a fantastic club. Everything about them is just so brilliant. I absolutely love them, and you have to visit the HEBC Hamburg before it is knocked down. So that is the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. It took me a long time to make this, but I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra.